Hello and welcome to the update here. And I've sort of dedicated this to the idiots because at times like this is when they come out. Um, I kind of want everybody to understand that. Hang on one sec, I can hear my own voice. Let me just delete myself. Right now, I can't hear my own voice. Okay, so what I want people to understand is that we have a situation here where there are a whole load of people with an enormous following in the Bitcoin world, in the crypto world, and everyone hangs on to their every word. And while obviously there are going to be some of them that are accurate and right, most of them are just trying to do one thing. They're trying to get you to trade. They're trying to excite you and make you think, oh yeah, I need to trade. I need to trade. And I'm going to prove that in a way by just looking at one of the biggest ones out there. And I'm going to say, just look at all these videos. These are the recent ones. Look at all the open mouth, the hooray, hooray, this whole pose stuff. Now, this is sort of marketing. This isn't trading. This is marketing. This is marketing. And you look at the views and you realize how much he's getting paid by YouTube for these. And then let's just scroll down, and just look at some of the things. Got disaster, we got fear. This is 2 weeks ago. I just dumped 600 grand into Bitcoin on Bybit. We've already shown that it's very possible he's not using real accounts on Bybit. All you have to do is look at my video on him to see where he's obviously got problems with it. And then you've got I made 200,000, but these are all very attractive, and they're designed to make you feel that you should be buying. This changes everything. It's happening. These are all what's known as calls to action. I'm going all in. Yeah, 3 weeks ago. Okay, big mistake before that. We did it. Bitcoin. Now look at all these things, and let's go back. All these sort of poses are to get you excited. I've no idea why they work, but clearly they do. Otherwise, he wouldn't be going on about it. So 2 months ago, Bitcoin disaster. Let's look 2 months ago. So it's beginning of February. So 2 months ago, beginning of December, disaster. So perhaps it's rallied up to there and then fallen again, and that's what he's talking about. But if you look a bit closer, you can actually see, they killed Bitcoin. This is definitely when it fell off again. And he's got really, this is the beginning of the Bitcoin pump 4 months ago. Let's have a look at 4 months ago. So beginning of February, beginning of January, beginning of December, beginning of October. This is the Bitcoin pump. I mean, it could actually be towards the end of October because actually YouTube isn't, I can't tell actually the date of that video. This is the beginning of the Bitcoin pump. And so it's somewhere in October, probably towards the end because the next video is 3 months ago. So let's have a look at that. So during October, this is the beginning of the Bitcoin pump. This is designed to get you in. Now, it doesn't mean he's trading this. It means that he is seeing a rally and saying to his people, this is the time to get in. And why is he doing that? Because what happens is that he receives money. When people trade using their Bybit account, whichever other affiliated account, when they deposit money, he gets it. And so he encourages people to use Bybit. And as a result, he encourages people to basically give Bybit money. And Bybit will immediately send him a proportion of that money because Bybit know that these people will lose money. Not necessarily because Carl's saying buy it, but just because generally traders lose money. And while we're on that subject, I can prove that to people. If have a look in my profile, there's an ebook there which you can have a read of, and you'll understand what it is I'm talking about. And there's also other video I've posted as well. So if you have a look through my videos, you'll see why it is you're so not the live ones. If you look at the actual videos, there's one there explains why we can stop you losing your money. So let's go back still further. I mean, this one is an obvious, and people have bought this and boom. So this guy is not making money out of trading. And if you go back and back, all you see, this is the beginning of the Bitcoin. Great stuff, and all this is my life in Dubai. This is people aspiring to be, basically to be him and to be as successful as him. And let's have pretty girls. These are all classic things. Look at all these nutters. Bitcoin to 11,000 on the 5th of September. So he was bearish, he was falling to 11,000 next month. That's 6 months ago. It hasn't fallen to 11,000. These are not serious trading analysis videos at all. They are designed to get people to either panic or be super euphoric, and that's what they're for. They're designed to get people to trade, not to buy or to sell. They just don't care. They want to, after this video, they want people to go, you know, I must act on this. I must put some money in my Bybit account, or create a Bybit account, and then I will trade. And that's all that matters. I mean, the amounts, I have no idea what Carl's deal is with Bybit, but if it was 50 or 60% of all deposits, it wouldn't surprise me, because people do lose their money on this. And going back, I found one from 10 months ago. We're longing Bitcoin now on Bybit. Explosion. We just opened. This is between 9 and 10 months ago. Well, I can tell you when that is, because if we go back 9 or 10 months, we're up here. Now, it was just here where we first started to say, so say in May, how long ago is that? So that's about 9 months ago. We said it's starting, you know, to get into the value area. I mean, you should start DCAing around here. And this is, you know, once it dipped here, this was us. This was us saying, you know, and I don't mind saying I started buying when I saw it dip below this line here, which is kind of where we think the value area is. Okay, so stuff below this line is, you know, to us, a buying area. Now, we wait for confirmation, or we DCA, which if people don't know what that is, means you average. So you buy a few here. If it dips low, you can afford to buy some more, and so on and so forth. It then touches the top of the area and then falls away. You know, I'm DCA'd all the way down here, and now we're up to sort of 24. I'm kind of in at my average, and in fact, I think I'm slightly higher than my average buy now. I think my average buy is around 22.7, and you know, and I bought it all cash. I haven't bought anything with margin, so I can't get stopped out. And I'm looking, you know, in a year's time to sell this for 3 times this, maybe more. I mean, I don't know. However, I do know that I'm a buyer in this area, not a seller. So, you know, he's basically saying buy it here, sell it here, buy it here, sell it here. You know, he wants you to trade, and he's using your feelings. So your feelings, you know, when you see a drop like this, you think just, oh, buy it. You know, I've got to buy the dip. That's what Saylor says. Michael Saylor's a genius. You know, he's a billionaire. Well, buy the dip. So you buy the dip, and boom, you know, you get it back in your face. And as soon as everyone starts to panic as it collapses, you've got him out there saying, you've got people like Carl out there saying, you know, this is the end for Bitcoin. But what I see, things like this. I see this drop here and this splurge in volume here as the big boys pick up Bitcoin. Yeah, this is not just everyone panicking at what it is, but at the same time, you know, you've got this. Look at these candles. Let's zoom in on these in particular. I'm just going to get rid of that and that. But if I look at these 2 candles, so I got one there. It rallied a little bit. Having collapsed for 2 days, it rallied a little bit, and the next one, which is almost as high a volume, still very much above the normal volume, it hardly moves. This is people buying and selling at the same price. That is the market makers, the big boys, standing there and buying it off you. Okay, that's what that is. So that's the sort of information I'm looking for. All right, so I'm using price, and I don't listen to anybody else. I don't, you know, I really am not interested in what other analysts say. Now, in terms of what we're talking about now, which I'm sure you want to hear, you know, do we buy it here, do we not? It won't surprise you if I tell you that this, I think, is only the beginning of the process. Okay, so you are getting some kind of rally here, and what I'm expecting, and you kind of need to join our Discord and pay up to get the reasons why I'm expecting it. And we do have special deals on, because it is actually it's definitely a recession at the moment. And so, you know, we've got special deals on. So if you're ever going to do it, now's the time, because these will not last, these deals. As far as I'm concerned, you know, I didn't even particularly want to do them, but my partner Lewis says we should, because people haven't got that much money right now. So I kind of get that, and we'll get some people in and teach you really the reasons why these things are true. But what I'm saying is, I expect it to have another little rally just to pop over the value line, and, you know, 25.4-ish. Now, there is an opportunity here. There is a chance, because you have to think in the way that the big boys think. And the way the big boys think is particularly devious. They want people to get excited enough to buy. but not too much, because if it gets too exciting, then everyone buys and it goes off and they can't control it. So they will be dumping it at some stage. And I can see a target for the dump, which is why I've got this line here. Okay, because that will really crap everybody up. It probably dips below there to get people out. But the point is they want to buy some more, and they're not going to do that up here. So they'll let it rally, and then dump it. And whether it goes to here, or I think there's a small chance it comes up here just to get everybody thinking this is it, Bitcoin's out. You know, imagine what Carl and his friends are going to be saying when we reach that point. Just imagine it. And we were right, we were long at the bottom, were you really? And they'll be very, very much encouraging you to buy, and I wouldn't recommend it. So that's where I am in terms of where I think Bitcoin is. And rant over and everything. I must check in case anyone's put anything in the chat. Yeah, we've got Just Gone, nice to see you. Visitor 783, cheers Paul. Good to see you from Wyckoff Mode. Hi from Emily at 0011, and Rod Dasher's awake even though he's in the US. He's up early. Yeah, I'm sorry Rod, I've been doing them a bit early, but I'm trying to catch the European market, and then I know it means you can't answer live, but at least you get an update when you wake up. I just go in. Yeah, we get together here. So fist bump, blimey, Wyckoff Mode. People are getting quite keen. Wyckoff Mode has posted something. I'm not going to look at that right now because I don't tend to look at other people's analysis, because what it does is it sours your head. So looking at other people's stuff, I don't mind you looking at mine. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that once you give a man a fish, he can eat. You teach a man a fish, he can eat for a lifetime. And what we want to do is teach people not to be idiots. Okay, so if you're following things like other idiots are saying, then you'll end up as an idiot and you'll lose your money. You will do your nuts, as we say in the markets in the UK, and you'll do your nuts and never be seen again, and that'll be the end of your trading career. So go and have a look at the ebook, which tells you how not to do your nuts, and hopefully join up, even if it's just for a month, to have a look, see what we have to offer. Unknown 174 says 100% agree with the idea. Thank you very much. That's just what I think. Now, don't forget, I'm not a magician. However, it just feels right to me, and there's absolutely no reason for it not to drop like a stone from here. I'm just saying, if you are excited about Bitcoin and been waiting to get long and you haven't heard earliers, if you've heard all my earlier stuff, you'll have DCA'd in and you'll probably be long around this level, and you're going to have to wait longer, in my opinion. You have to wait longer because we are going to have another dip. It's just a question of how high it goes first, and how prolonged the dip and how deep it goes. I mean, don't forget, they're trying to excite everybody to get back in and then dash their hopes. Because once everyone's hopes are dashed and everyone lets go, at that point they can let it go. Obviously, because that's the worst and most horrible and bitchy thing they could possibly do to people trading. That is how it works. Rod Dasher says, great to catch the streams live or not. Patience is the key. And our patience, that's such a thing. It's so easy to go in too early. There are people who will see that a price has gone below a certain level that they're looking at, and they will, literally drive home as fast as they can or pick up their phone and trade right away in order to get in at that price. But what they're not doing is waiting to see if that price is sensitive. For example, you had this, let's say, here's a classic example. You had a bounce here, and you decided, right, it's going to be a double bottom, so I want to get in here. Now, if you set a limit there, you'd be long and wrong. If you just watched it dropping like a flipping stone, then you would have said, I'm not so keen. What you should be doing is waiting for a bounce, maybe like that, and seeing some action. If you see some action and then it starts to go higher, that makes sense. You looked at the level, you rushed home maybe, but then you were patient. This is a 4-hour chart. It would take a while for something like that to turn around. Like here, this was a sale because we came back up to the previous level, which is an old thing even in FX terms. Wow, it's doing that because I've got that on. But if you'd waited, you're not missing much. So say you had an alternative, sell it at 25.2, and then you finally, when you realised it was fading and you've got a last touch here, what's that? 23.6. Okay, so you've missed, I don't know, 1,400. But look what you've gained by waiting for the confirmation that it's history. So even here, I'd have waited for confirmation. I wouldn't have mind missing it for a few dollars and just watched and seen that there was nothing going on. You know, you've got this, you check the volume out. Volume fading away. So if we zoom in on this particular area, you had a high volume rally up to this area. Big day up to the area, and then voom, nothing, no volume. That tells you everything you need to know. Okay, so you know, there's a few pearls of wisdom chucked in amongst you. Let's just hope some people read my book so they survive, and let's hope some people join our Discord so we survive. I'm joking. I make most of my money from trading. Education is a secondary thing from us. Wyckoff mode is on about living balance gold. I'll look at gold. Yes, I'll have a look at gold. In Wyckoff distribution, we would know that if we transition from phase D to phase E with a sign of weakness event. Yes, I know, but this is accumulation. We think we're at secondary thrust or STB here. Probably ST, not STB for the Wyckoff people amongst us. So that's why we think there's another go down here. And don't forget Wyckoff. You know, you can look at Wyckoff in a very slightly different way. You don't have to look at it as a straight line thing. So even though this might be the seller's climax, the ST can be below it. It's just the phases. It's all, you know, if you want to be strict fundamentalist Elliotian or Wyckofian, then you're going to get caught. If you are willing to be flexible but understand and take the 10% of Wyckoff and the 10% of Elliott wave that's useful out, that's the kind of attitude we have, then you're going to end up thinking about it. You're going to end up saying to yourself, well, really, where are we? And the hardest part, as it was said earlier on, that's the person talking about patience. I can't remember, was trader somebody, visitor 7, I can't remember who it was now. Somebody just said patience is the key. There we go, unknown 174, patience is the key. And so it's very easy to go off too early and do your load on something that isn't ready. So all we're saying is we don't think this is ready. You know, the market isn't out there to make all of you rich, and as a result it's going to try and make you poor first, and this isn't enough. There's going to be another dip, may only be here, but it'll be enough to scare everybody who got long into this, and they're literally just topping and tailing you, or you end up topping and tailing. Right, so Wyckoff mode is explaining distribution, and yeah, MJF, I've got Aussie and Brent oil, okay. I'm talking about when you said someone went long at that push down to resistance when it fell deeper. That was a coming soon Wyckoff. Yeah, okay, fair enough. I got you. You can't look in Wyckoff's all the time. This is semi a Wyckoff because you've got. I don't really like the way that looked, and that's not. I'm not certain I would have picked that out as necessarily a sell sign up here. You've got a deep SC and a deep AR, which is nice, and then you do have a secondary thrust and an up. Then you know, I suppose it's okay, and then you get an up thrust. You don't get a UTAD, but you do get LPS, and then when it drops out, it drops out, and so that is kind of a distribution sitting there. Yes, I agree. In fact, I seem to remember calling this too long ago. Don't remember. I seem to remember calling that one. If anyone was watching, perhaps they can remember, but I'm too old to remember. I've been around too long and too long in the tooth, which comes from horses. There you go, interesting facts. Right, so let's do, the first one that came up was gold. I have gold, I like gold, it's okay. Let's daily it. I don't think I've looked at it for a while, so let's have a look and see. I'll usually leave my crap, oh my goodness, usually leave my crap up here in an effort to stay. I'm going to have to come easier. Let's go 4 hour. So I've called that as a 4, and this is a potential 0.1. Yeah, so I would not say, I'd say this looks like a 3 where we are here, because you haven't got defined 1.618. What's this other one here? Let's get rid of that, it's in the way. Because if you look at this as if this is a 4, which I think it fit, I'm not going to go into exactly why I think it's a 4 because I believe it is. Then you've got, let's do the green one. You've got kind of 0, 1, 2, and then you're looking for a 1.6 turnaround. You don't get one, you get a 2.6. So given my my thoughts on other markets, I'm seeing this as a 3. And so I'd expect the 4 to come, I don't know, possibly here. And that's what I think of gold. I mean, I wouldn't get long gold here because we have too high an extension. Now, I'm not saying it can't go higher, because when we get to Aussie dollar, we'll see the same thing. It can go higher. In fact, one of the characteristics of Aussie is it goes a tiny bit more than you think, more or less every time. And just when you think this is it, it's turned, it then returns and either does a double top or stops you out by going slightly higher before utterly collapsing. And you know, markets are difficult because markets are meant to be difficult. Right. You can't steal my thunder, Wyckoff mode, because I won't be putting it up on the screen. But it's good that you follow Wyckoff, because but I would say if you're a Wyckoff fundamentalist, just allow it. Presumably you've read the second book by the Spanish guy about how seeing Wyckoffs on slants and stuff like that. So if you're looking at BTC right now, you might think it's one of those. Really, like I said earlier, what we do is take the 10% of the best 10% of everything and throw 90% of it away, because nothing's ever that clear. So we get loads of people in Bitcoin saying, well, the 1-4 symmetry's been broken. I agree, but it doesn't mean that it's not the value area, and I still want to go long. Okay, and you know, you've got an awful lot of stuff here. You've got pandemics, you've got wars, you've got cost of living crisis, recession, you've got everything. You know, I'm not in the least bit surprised it's broken it. You know, cut it some slack, unless you're a fundamentalist, which you should throw it away. But fundamentalists also try and trade correctives, which is difficult. All we do is say, right, we think we're impulsive here, so therefore it's going to go up for the next 6 months. And that's really good information, so we bias from the long side. We'll get on Venomous Snake. I'll get on to that in a minute. We said we'd do gold, so I've given you my impression in gold. I wouldn't touch it with a barge pole up here. I'd be looking, you know, not necessarily to short it because that is corrective, but after we see the 4 in, you know, I have said earlier that I believe this is okay. Is the 3 in? Probably. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I'd say that 3 is close to in if it's not in. And then we're looking to go down, so I'm slightly bearish. Gun to my head, you know, I'm going to sell gold, not buy it. AU, someone was asking, and Brent. AU I follow the whole time. What do we got here? Yeah, so we think it's approaching a 1. So we think 4's in, approaching a 1, and we're not interested really until we get to the 2. And where the 2 is, I've just put that there. I've no idea where it's going to be. If you want me to guess, probably quite high, probably around here. But you know, I'm not interested in buying this. Gun to my head, I'm selling this as well, and that brings me on. I will get to Brent, but brings me on to DXY, which we see rallying. Again, it could be early in the process, but we do see this rallying. Now, what this means is that we kind of expect some nasty news, because that's what's the sort of thing that makes the dollar do this. It could be some numbers, it could be anything. But yeah, we expect dollar to rally and the others to fade, obviously, against it. Now, Brent, I don't think I've got Brent as up here already. I may do. No, so let's go Brent. Let's go out to weekly because this is too confusing. Oh, proper inflection point. That's where we are. This is where you've got like a zone here, which has been reactive for a long time, and we are in it. So this goes back to when? 2007. Yeah. Okay, so on the weekly, if this is a 5, if this rally from there, which is, and we can start putting some stuff on here to have a look at it. Don't like doing this. We do get a 1.618 there, and then you get an extension here, obviously caused by the war, above the 2.618. So I see this as corrective now. So you've got your A, you've got your B. Oh, wait a minute, I've done that wrong. Using the wrong thing. So if we take this as a corrective, and I don't really like these prices up here, that's the trouble. So it's going to be hard to measure because they're going to be panic prices, which I don't think are right. So we're at the 1 and potentially 54, 55 as the target. There's nothing over here really to suggest. Oh, actually there is. 56 via C move. After this monthly 5, you could well end up with a 5 move now. 1, 2, 3. Is that a 4? And I think we're still in the 3rd move. I don't really see that. I think we're still in the 3rd move. So you've had a 1. Let's take another one here. So if we've had a 1, and we look at this. I'm being stupid. Hold on. I'm sorry, but I'm not going to say what I think about this because I don't know. I'm not seeing enough market, data there, enough price action that's convincing me that to go either any one way or the other here. We've had the bounce off. Gun to my head, I'd short it, but I really don't want to trade that thing. So we've done DXY, we've done that. So we've done venomous snake. Do you think the dollar will triumph again? I mean, this year's dollar going to be downish. Well, I think it's going up from here. We don't know what we don't know until we know it. Yeah, totally. Visitor 783. What do you think about DXY? Yeah, I don't think so. I think it's oversold and it will rally. I think DXY, and that's why you'll get sell-off in Euro and Aussie against it. NatGas, oh, you spied that, did you? See what I thought about NatGas last time I looked at it. Well, I didn't think very much by looking at it. Have I got any picture in there at all? No. Ah, reminds me of Bitcoin. So I haven't got data going back miles. It's depressed now because everyone's got too much of it, because after the when the war, the stocks, the price went to mental. Everyone just harvested as much as possible, stuck it in a tanker and sent it to Europe, and now there's all these tankers sitting off there full of gas and no one wants it for love nor money. Again, it's at an inflection point. For choice you'd have to buy it, but don't forget that patience is a virtue. If we go into it slightly earlier, I've got volume, so I can try this thing. So if we take it from here to here, where are the big points? Well, there's another big volume area there at 189. So there's still a target lower. So while gun to my head, I'll buy it. I think, given the current situation, I wouldn't get in too long. There's another small one there at 292. That's what I think NatGas. Is there any chat in? I haven't checked YouTube for ages. Oh, here we go. E.T. Abbas, truth. Display case this morning, Paul. Andy McGregor says, love this channel. Well, that's great. If you like this, please like, subscribe, and tell your friends to have a look at it too. I think that's pretty much it for today. I haven't got any more points. So stop watching idiots like BitBoy and Carl and so on and so forth. The ebook costs very little, and we've reduced prices on Mayfair mentoring. So for goodness sake, mayfair-method.com. Until the next time.